If I had the ability to change the world, or if I became the president of a country today, there will be one change that I will mandate. And that change will be that every child, starting from kindergarten or nursery, as some people call it, all the way up to primary school, secondary school, university, will be mandated to interact with people of different backgrounds and different abilities. The world is not one color, and even if a child is feeling like they belong, someday they're going to be in a circle that they may not feel so included. Why do I say so? As someone that lives with disabilities, cerebral palsy, I grew up in a place that was not very inclusive. In a time that children did not know how to interact with other children that were differently enabled, and that made life very difficult and sad for me. I, I dedicated my life to fighting to see that our world is more inclusive. You may want to know what I mean. With cerebral palsy, when I went to school, especially in Nigeria of the early 1970s, I did not see anybody with disabilities the way that I had. And most people were very excluding of me, or they didn't want to include me in their plans in any way. I could have gotten upset, I could have blamed them. But looking back, how do you get upset at people who were not taught differently? A lot of these people did not have any opportunity to interact in educational institutions with people that had disabilities like me. For instance, I grew up in Eastern Nigeria. Eastern Nigeria was coming out of a war. There were limited resources. Of course, a lot of people had injuries from the war, but they were hidden behind closed doors because it was not believed that they stood a chance to life. So for me, growing up and having this intention to go to school, to further my education, it raised a lot of questions in the minds of many. How will she cope? We don't want her to further get hurt and be blamed for it. I can go on and on about the things that they questioned in their minds. Some of them actually felt that my condition may be infectious or contagious, as the case may be. So they didn't want anything to do with me because it was not something that they understood. But this is a purely medical condition that could have been explained if the awareness was there. If people understood that people with disabilities did not do anything wrong, they are no less, that there could be medical explanations for this, and that they can live full lives if given better options. If we made those changes, can you imagine how different our world would have been? Maybe you have a family member that had a disability and was hidden her whole life. Do you imagine that if that family member was given the opportunities, that they could have changed the world? This is the reason that I do what I do with the enabled life, bringing the lives of people with disabilities to you, educating you that the disability is not something to be ashamed of, that people with disability can be productive. If you would like to learn more about disabilities and how to interact with persons with disabilities, you can continue to follow this page. You can also like, comment, and share. We deal with a lot of these issues on this space, and I promise you, you will learn a lot. Your life will not be the same. Your world will be more embracing, and you will see things with different set of eyes. Again, if you have children that you're raising, you will have better information to educate them so that they can become more rounded and they will have room to embrace others even when they are different from them. I hope that we can make the world a better place.